Thanks for watching live or listening back to this show from Teachers Talk Radio. You can catch up with all our shows by visiting our YouTube channel or by listening back at ttradio.org. Don't forget to like and subscribe to enjoy more live education conversation from TTR. We hope you enjoy this show.
Hello.
Hello.
We have listeners already. Welcome.
Yay.
Welcome to the
Probably
Monday.
fed up teachers who are tired and sick of life in June.
Welcome to the used to be the Late Show, is now the Late Show because we are bi-coastal, not bi-coastal, bi-channel.
Bi-channel. I don't think this qualifies as bi-coastal.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Bi-channel. I don't think bi-channel is a word, but raised in England, and I'm in France, so
yeah, straddling the channel.
We're bi-channel, bi-channeling.
It just sounds weird. Let's
yeah, I know. I made up a verb. Okay. You won't make up verbs on the Late Show.
No. Oh boy. But
so
we haven't done this in a while, and
yeah,
my life hasn't really changed, but yours has.
Yes, I'm working now. Yeah. Got my visa through, so I am now an international teacher. So like James Bond, international teacher.
International.
Tea, cold, not hot.
Oh no.
No, I don't drink cold tea. Well, maybe sometimes.
I don't think I've been to Paris many times, and I've never once in Paris, or I have in France, but never in Paris had tea.
Yeah, you can't order a breakfast tea in Paris. It's hard. I don't know, it's impossible, but it's hard. Like I went for brunch on Sunday, and I ordered pancakes, and I could like, do you have tea? Yes, we have Earl Grey, rooibos, and something else. I was like, yeah, no, thank you.
No. You could do with an Earl Grey. Oh no. Yeah. Okay, fair enough.
No, it's not the same. I because the pancake is like a sweet breakfast. The tea cuts through the sweetness. See?
If you say so.
No, like it does. It's very important to cut through the sweetness.
Okay, but do you know what else cuts through the sweetness in the morning?
What, coffee? Yeah, I don't do coffee.
Coffee, Lianne.
No, I don't.
You live in France now.
I know, coffee. But yeah, no. But I'm English. Sorry.
Oh no. Do you know? Okay, my father, as far as I knew, was never a huge tea drinker. Like he never was when I was growing up. But he lived over here for a number of years when he was younger. And I called him yesterday because it's Father's. Thankfully, right? Father's Day is the same, apparently, worldwide. Whereas Mother's Day, like it's either in March or May, and I always forget. And I forgot this year, which was it was bad news anyway. So I called my dad yesterday, and I was like, I'm coming to meet you guys in Canada. Like my brother's coming from Germany. I'm coming from here. We're all meeting in Canada to do this family reunion thing. I'm gonna bring like an extra suitcase so I can load up on Canadian stuff when I'm there and feel really patriotic because that's where we're at right now in the world. So I'm gonna have a lot of. I can bring stuff. I can bring lots of stuff over in my suitcase and dispense British things. What do you want me to bring? And he just went Thai food.
What's tea?
And I was like, of all the teas, that's the one that you. I don't know where this has come from, but maybe in his age, he's like reverting to his youth in Britain, and
that's funny. At least he didn't want Yorkshire tea.
I swear there is an unopened Thai food box in our cupboard because we've got loads of teas, and it was Yorkshire tea, and he was like, no.
No, I've never tried it. By the way, like this is nothing to do with teaching, but welcome to
it is because radio. tea is about teaching. Teaching is about
That is true.
This is Yorkshire tea.
I ran out of tea. I ran out of tea bags. We ran out the other day, so I had to have like a fruit tea in the morning because I feel
grim.
like it was all right, and it like helped to like wake me up a little bit, but it's not the same.
No,
and
no.
black tea is not the same. It's really not. You need the milk, like you really do. And I need tea in the morning, like people need coffee. For me, like tea, it's the same. It doesn't like wake me up, but it's like a slow wake up, like like when you're in class and they're like doing long writing and you put music on and it's just like help you to like work and like be calm, be zen, and
that's so British of you. You know there's caffeine in this, Lianne. Like that's
I know,
what
but
it
it's
is.
like it's a slow release caffeine. It's not like coffee. Coffee makes me feel a little bit yucky.
I guess I'm too much of an addict.
That's a great word. Yucky.
Yucky.
Great word. I'm going to use it in my English lesson tomorrow. Yucky. Yeah, no, I do need tea, and actually, I have a little mug, like a flask thing. I think I left it somewhere at school. I don't know where. I'm not sure. I'm in many classrooms at the moment. I need to find it because it's probably a bit smelly. With like the milky tea that's in it. I don't know.
Oh, you're that person. You're that person that leaves the milky tea
I don't.
in the
No,
mug,
not in the staff
and then
room.
it's like
No.
and moldy.
No, that's disgusting. No, I don't do that in staff rooms. But because I'm in like different classrooms and I'm like the cover person, I don't know. Like I forget it, and I've been having tea on the metro in the morning because I'm a commuter. I commute to school now. Past
You
the
make
Eiffel
it sound
Tower.
so novel. Oh,
it is novel. See, there you go.
I want to swear. Yeah, that's insane.
It's really funny because I don't know if there's international teachers watching and you can message us in the chat, but I feel like when I take the train into London and when I come from my parents, go past like a lot of monuments, like past the South Bank, and you can see like Westminster and Battersea, and I'm just like, okay, not that interesting. But now in Paris, like one of the lines that I take to school goes past the Eiffel Tower. Just like, don't be a tourist.
But see, I always felt that way about London. I was there for 13 years, and I still, every time I cross.
Yeah, of course. That's because
like if you cross the Thames in any way that allows you to see literally anything, especially if the weather's nice, I was always like, oh, I'm here. Like after 13 years of living in the city, I love it so much. It's so beautiful. Like it never.
No, it won't. But I don't think it would because you're a tourist and you didn't grow up there.
The audacity. No, I am foreign.
You are a tourist.
That was I never felt more foreign, I think.
Don't deny
than going across the Thames and just being like starry-eyed at disgusting buildings.
No, but like London has a lot of history, and like a lot of culture in it. So like you even no, I don't think I feel it the same way. now that I'm like working internationally, I don't feel London. I'm not like wow. I'm like home, but I'm not like
yeah.
A lot of teachers out there that could probably like understand because a lot of teachers leave the UK and work internationally.
Yeah, I bet they do.
You can communicate with us in the comment section, and we will communicate back with you.
That's how this works.
Yeah. Sometimes we moan.
We moan a lot.
And you can join in. You can join us in our moans and our complaints.
And what are we complaining about today?
What are we talking about today? We are talking about Ray and I were thinking like, what do we talk about? And we like to. A lot of our shows are related to the time of year, actually.
Yes.
Like we usually talk about where we are in the academic year, not the calendar year, because who lives in calendar years? Not teachers.
Not teachers. No.
Not teachers. No, our summer, our January is September.
I always have to stop when non-teachers say something like last year or whatever. I'm always like what does that mean?
Which do you mean academic year or calendar year? I don't
What
understand.
are you talking about? Yeah.
Like before teaching, I worked at a football club and we lived in seasons, and now I live in academic years. I haven't lived in a calendar year for a long time.
No.
I wonder what it's like. Must be
I
nice.
can't. Okay, no. I can, right? So there are two kind of. Oh, this is bad. What I'm about to say is really bad. So they're kind of like two milestones in my head that coincide with obvious major years. So I moved over here in 2010. So 2010 is like the dividing line of my life, I suppose. So there's like pre 2010 and post 2010. And for the first kind of if I start thinking about it that way, then I think in calendar years. But then the second one should be like my wedding date, my wedding year, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
COVID. So
Yeah, COVID,
it's 2020 is like the other. So basically there's like 2010, a kind of decade of blurriness, and how I think about it in my brain, how I because I visualize calendars and stuff. It depends on the context. And if I'm thinking in terms of like milestone dates, then I can think like a normal person. But if I don't start out that way and someone throws a random year at me, I'm like, someone will say 2015 and I'll be like, do you mean the first half of the year? Do you mean the summer? Or do you mean the second half of the year? Like what? Those are three very different time periods in my brain. So
do you mean the autumn term,
yeah,
the winter term, or the spring? Which term are we talking about here?
yeah, it really does change how you think about and like structure your whole mind, your whole life in your mind. It's really
my favorite term is the spring term. I'm not sure what it's like in high school. Well, because you're in secondary, so maybe it's different. But for us, like the spring term is, especially in like the younger years, key stage 1, early years, in the spring term, they become more human. So yeah, like autumn is long, and autumn term is the term where it gets cold, gets dark early, and I feel like by the third week of September, it's dark and cold, and like summer is forgotten, like it's gone, you know. And yes, like, and autumn is long, like September to the end of December is really long. It's a long slog. And then the spring term, it's like days get lighter. The spring term is usually the shorter term.
Yeah, I think I've just split it up though, because the first half is so dark and cold and bleak and horrific, and it's post holidays, so you're just like, there's nothing to look forward to. Like, who counts Valentine's Day as a thing? It's disgusting. So the first half of spring is miserable to me, and then the second half I think is my favorite, also helped by the fact that it's usually the or one of the shortest.
That's true. Yeah, spring is usually 6 weeks, which is doable.
Yeah, and you've got that 2-week holiday to look forward to that doesn't have all the stress and pressure of like seeing all your family and doing something exciting for New Year's, otherwise you're a failure at life. So I think spring too.
Yeah. So yeah,
Spring.
most of our shows seem to center around the time of year in the academic calendar. So we were like, what do we talk about? Coming to the end of the summer term, which is also usually summer 2 is usually really long. Like I think I've done like 8 weeks before, and by like the end of July, you're just like, just go color something in.
And we do that too in secondary, and not just in geography. Yeah,
we're like,
it is.
Let's just stay outside for a bit longer.
Yeah,
the weather's warm, and especially in England. Like, and actually the same thing happened last week. The weather's nice. It never happened. Let's just stay outside a bit longer.
Yeah.
I
don't think we have that option. Yeah, it's not like we can just extend break times, but
you guys are missing out.
I know.
Sorry, but you're missing out.
I know. The break duties I've had this year on sunny days, I've just gone outside and like
just sat,
just at the sun, like bake me.
So we were like, what do we talk about? So we're going to talk to how do you survive to the end of the year. Exams, which is more your remit.
Penance for my crappy life choices.
I mean, we do exams in primary, but I feel like exam season is more your remit. Insane children, never heard of such a thing. And the never-ending events. Sports day. No, thank you. No, thank you.
No.
And apparently you walked 10 kilometers with 120 year 10 children. Fun!
I have so much to complain about. I have so
That's why
much to
that's
complain.
why teachers don't need gym memberships. We did sports day a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at my phone. Oh, and we have this like health app with like school. It's really nice actually. And I was like top of the table for about 3 days because the app connects to like your steps on your phone, and on that day I'd done 15,000 steps. So I was top of the table on the health app.
I don't see. I'm not a step counter, so I don't actually have much concept of like what that means.
Yeah, 15,000 is a lot.
Okay.
I mean, I think, yeah. My phone
I have to take your word
congratulated
for
me.
it.
My phone congratulated me on it. So.
Oh,
Oh, thanks.
cute. Slightly invasive, but cute.
Yeah, invasive.
A little bit creepy. Cute though.
Yeah, well, you know. But I was quite impressed that I was top of the table. I'm not anymore. But
Womp womp.
yeah. So never-ending events. Sports day. Sports day is up there.
Yeah.
And then the gained time myth. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Can you tell us what
Okay.
that is, please?
Right. So the gain time situation is tied into the exam situation. So
Right.
theoretically,
Yeah.
if you've got an exam class, if you have year 11 or 13, so classes where once they're finished their exams, they don't have school anymore. They obviously disappear at some point, and you
Nice. Bye-bye.
have like bye-bye, and then you have blank spaces on your timetable in which you can actually do things that you've been putting off all
Nice.
year, like fixing the displays that are falling down and reorganizing your classroom and like actually marking books properly for the first time in weeks, like that kind of thing. But it also turns into the time when all the planning needs to get done for September. So you're given tasks to do. Like you have to do these as well. I don't know when you're expected to do them if you don't have exam classes, but they give you time. Well, they don't give you time. They give you tasks to do in the time that you would have been teaching your exam classes. So if it's fair at all, it's obviously divided up by, if you've got a member of staff, SLT, who have pretty much only exam classes because they chose it, then they have all of this free time at the end. And then theoretically, they should be doing more of the game time tasks to fill that time. And then the rest of us plebs have less times we do less game time stuff, right? But what's happening more and more and more and more across schools, across the country, secondary schools, everywhere, this is not unique to my situation, is that we're not letting the students go. Like there was a time when I first started teaching which makes it sound like I'm 105. I'm not. I've only been doing this for 15 years. But when I started, study leave still existed. Yeah. So students it wasn't just like when their exams were done that your timetable would clear. It was like Easter. After Easter was the whole summer, or May half term, or the date of the first exam, or whatever the school decided. But like as time has gone, that has like been shifted back and back and back and back and back and back until like Friday was the last day. Like last week was the last day that year 11s were expected to be in normal classes. I was babysitting them for a week when they didn't have any English exams. So you don't have the game time that you used to have, but everybody still has to plan for next year. That's not like, that hasn't disappeared. We're not doing less planning. We're just being forced to keep these kids in a room for longer to questionable success and questionable ends. So yeah, so the myth of game time, everybody loves to throw the phrase around, but we're all just going, gained what? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, so it's just become more and more and more frustrating in every school I've been in, really, at the end of the year. My NQT year and the year after, I remember us lying, like just lounging on tables in someone's empty classroom watching Wimbledon. on the big screen. Like we projected it and we were just like just watching this.
Yeah.
And like chilling, because not that we had no work to do. We were just choosing not to do it at that particular moment, and the sky didn't fall.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't happen anymore.
But I feel like also I've always had like the best intentions in the weeks before a half term. Like in my PPA slot in the week before half term, I'm going to do all my planning for the next week. But I'm so exhausted that I just don't want to in that last planning slot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like logically, it makes sense. And it's always in my head, like logically, like, oh yeah, the last week we can get medium term plans done and what have you. But you're so tired by that point that you, in that last planning session, just kind of want to sit and talk to whoever's in the staff room.
Yeah, you're fried. And it's like the kids, the longer we keep them,
especially now,
the more fried they are.
Yeah. But so they're giving you extra work to do on top of all the planning?
Well, they haven't actually. The game time plans are supposed to come out this week, and I am very interested to see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, I mean, the point I'm making is we used to have more time to plan stuff because the kids would go. So you'd have the game time tasks would have been organized and delegated and sorted literally months ago when I first started teaching. So we'd be working on all of the stuff for so much longer, and you'd have so much more time and effort and energy and thought to put into it. And now, because we keep them penned for so long and we have to babysit them, we don't have the time to plan for the future, because it's all just like last minute cramming, last minute revision, last minute this, or sitting in a classroom making sure they don't burn it down because you have nothing left to teach. It just seems really
what did you do with
ridiculous. Oh, what I did with them last, what I did with my kids last week in my English lessons after their English exams were done. I'd made them a quiz. I made them a little quiz on a website where they can join on their phone, like one of those quizzes. And it was all about them and the foolishness they put me through this year. It was quite funny. They appreciated it. So I did that at the weekend. So we did that. We had some snacks.
Cute.
I gave him some bubbles. Bubbles really calm 16-year-olds down. They love
hilarious.
Bubbles.
We use them in early years.
Yeah, well, you can use them at secondary as well. I wasn't anticipating the reaction. And a couple of them were revising for exams that they still had to do. But it was like, I'm not gonna sit here and force you to do that, because I like ethically object to micromanaging your study time like this. I went on a whole rant about this yesterday. On points of view, and I'm not going to go into it again, but we're doing them a massive disservice by controlling every second and not giving them the opportunity to develop their own independent study skills.
Absolutely.
So I was like, I'm not, especially because this is not my subject. Mine is done. We are going to sit, we are going to chill. If you want to revise, Godspeed, carry on. But otherwise, stay in the room. Like, I'm not participating in this. So it was, that's pretty much what we did for a couple hours, which they did actually seem to appreciate, having some space to chill, because they can't be at home. They're not allowed to manage their own time. But yeah, this is a really common thing.
I feel like some of them some can't. Some can, some can't.
Yeah.
Which is probably why they've done that. Like I remember being in high school.
No. Why schools are doing that has actually nothing to do with equity or supporting vulnerable students or anything, or safeguarding or anything, which is what people love to throw back. It's because everyone's under so much pressure with league tables. Everyone's under so much pressure by whoever the top dog is to get results up. We have to spend every second counts, and we have to cram their heads with as much stuff as possible up until the literal last second with all of this intervention that shouldn't be happening. And it's a national problem. Like, the whole approach to this has to change. It's an absolute joke. That's why we do it. It's everything else is just bluff. So as you can tell, I refuse to refuse as much as I can and still keep my job. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. And consequently, back to game time, we are only just now in mid-June, or this week we'll find out what we actually need to do, which doesn't leave us much time to do it.
When do you finish?
Wouldn't it be nice if we had more time?
When do you break up?
End of July. Well, 20-something of July. What is your school? When does your school break up?
The end of June.
So if you're listening to this and you're not watching
You asked.
what I'm doing right now is death glaring at Lianne.
Sorry. But you did ask, and I would never not answer a question on Teachers Talk Radio. We're very honest on Teachers Talk Radio. We speak the truth. Even if the truth hurts. The truth hurts.
And it does. That's
you can't handle the truth.
Nope.
But we are very honest on Teachers Talk Radio. But if you're listening, thank you for listening. We're talking about the last half term in school, how to survive it. Ray is secondary. I am primary. We're talking about how to survive it. So if you're listening, thank you. If you've got any suggestions as to how you are surviving the last half term, you can type them in the comments and we will add you to the show. And if you're listening in the future, thank you for listening. And we hope you are surviving the last half term. And if you're listening at the end of July, you made it. Well done. I feel like we should publish our show in the last week of July and call it "You Survived."
Well done, good job. You're still here.
So that's game time. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think you get game time in primary because you're just with your class all the time.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah,
it's
not a thing.
It must feel like there's no wind down, and like, how are you supposed to plan stuff for September?
Yeah, there's not. You get you get like an afternoon PPA every week, or some schools do like a full day PPA every other week. That you use that to plan. Some people don't move year groups, so lucky them. You can reuse stuff. If you are moving year groups, you use the last bit of PPA. If you've got a chill class, which is a rarity these days, you can maybe do it, I don't know, in class, but that's a rarity, and it's not always easy. But game time in primary doesn't exist. Well, I've never experienced it.
Yeah, it can't though, because your classes are still there, which makes all the secondary teachers whinging about the death of game time sound really self-absorbed. But I still think it's valid because, when something happens for so long and there's an expectation and a reliance on it, and then that's yanked out from under you, that obviously, like, the change in workload and morale and all these things is significant if you've been around long enough to know what it was like before. And also, to me, there's the bigger issue. It's not just about game time, because, okay, fine, you want to give me less time, I'm going to do less work for September, and we'll just be less prepared because we do what we can and we don't do what we can't. And
I also feel like, like, give them a break, especially year 11.
Yeah,
not fair. But I also feel like, do you not have in your head things that you need to do and things that you're like, oh, I've got game time, okay, I can do this then and this then, and then you get an email from SLT and it's like, you need to do this, like, but I'm an adult and I was thinking I'll get this done, and then out of nowhere springs jobs that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah, it does sometimes feel
that's tough. That's really hard.
I think this I've been places in certain years when it's felt like they're assigning tasks for the sake of filling the time rather than letting people be professionals, and that is really offensive. But if there are things that genuinely need to get done and it's about, trying to keep the division of labor as sensible and equitable as possible, then fine. But if it doesn't actually have to happen and you're just giving me busy work to tick a box, please do one. Like, we all have stuff to do, just let us do it.
Ray, that's the most English thing you've ever said.
I say it a lot.
Love it. Just go do one. I'm going to use that tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can go do one.
Will they know what that means? Are you like
no? They won't have a clue. No.
Okay.
No, not British. Not a British international. Just international. Funny.
Right.
Go do one. Do what? Just go do one.
Do you work?
One.
Do you work with French people? Like, is most of the staff French?
Mixture. No, it's a mixture. It's half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, half will understand.
Yeah. It's really funny actually because they're like when I talk to the English staff, kind of feel like you feel like a bit of home.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh.
Whereas in England, you wouldn't have felt it. Well, you don't need it. You are home, but it's really funny. I never experienced that before. Like
nothing makes you more
nice
patriotic than moving abroad. Yeah.
And I mean, I wasn't born in England, so I'm not British by birth, but after moving abroad, I realized that I'm more English than I thought.
So can we just go back to the beginning of the show when I was ripping you for your tea decision?
Yes.
And how you needed to have tea in the morning, and you're in Paris, you won't drink coffee. And your defense, the first thing you said in defense of this was, "I'm English."
Yeah, I know.
So that's how your brain thinks.
I'm fake English.
You can't go back on it now.
I'm Finglish. Well, yeah, I know, but to be fair to myself, we immigrated when I was 2, so you know, I support a particular rugby team that wear green jerseys, but I drink tea.
I don't know what that means.
What can I say? I support the South African sport teams, but I drink tea.
They wear green jerseys?
The Springboks wear green jerseys, yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Yay, sports ball.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So back to teaching. This is not sports talk.
No. Do you know what's weird though? I did know they were called the Springboks, but not that they wore green jerseys.
Oh, well, there you go.
How is that a thing?
Now you can go to your local pub quiz.
That won't be a question. That's like stupid people level question. If
maybe there'll be a sports round.
There's no.
Well, maybe we should tell the people about the Teachers Talk Radio newsletter.
Yeah, let's do that.
We got to the midpoint of our show. So we have a Teachers Talk Radio newsletter, and you can subscribe. Have you subscribed to our weekly newsletter yet? It's called Sound Bites and Insights, and it's delivered to 10,000 educators a week. It contains a curated selection of 4 standout TTR shows from the week, exclusive discounts and exclusive offers from our sponsors. You can sign up at our website, which is ttradio.org/newsletter. We also have John Catt, and our show is brought to you in partnership with John Catt Educational, who are publishers of professional development books and resources that support great teaching and learning in schools around the world. You can level up your professional development today and visit johncattbookshop.com to explore the full range of titles. Use the code JCTTR2425 and you get 20% off your order. Maybe they have a book on how to survive the last half term.
I don't think they do, but I'm sure there's other really useful things for the rest of the year.
Their books are very professional, and Ray and I just talk at we just talk at you guys on a Monday night. But we love that you listen, because if you didn't listen, we wouldn't be able to talk.
We just like complaining.
But yeah, no, John Catt have a good selection of books, and actually, it's not anything like just secondary, just primary. They have a good selection, and it's a great discount code. So capital letters JCTTR 2425, and the newsletter's good as well. We have been in the newsletter.
We have. Sometimes our complaining really strikes a chord.
Sometimes we complain, and you guys like it. So, thank you. Yeah.
We're not the only ones. We're not the only ones with these complaints. We just luckily have a platform. So here we are.
It's true. Tom gave us a microphone, and here we are.
Oh dear.
That's
right.
Game time.
What else? What is the most stressful, frustrating, exhausting thing about summer term
And
for
it
you
at the
in
summer
primary?
term. Like I said before, like by week 7 or week 8, it's just like, how many mindful coloring sheets can you print? I'll twinkle. No, I'm joking. Well, I don't know. Just like it's long,
Mm-hmm.
and most kids are fine till the end. Also, because the weather is nice, and that does help. I think, like, lift spirits a little bit. And when you're going in the morning and it's like bright and sunny and warm, it's like, okay, great. But it
Yeah.
is long, and I think after a while, like, you do run out of ideas of what to do with the kids, because
Yeah.
by like the penultimate week, you're not going to moderate. So with writing, you're kind of, maybe you're done. Uh, with maths, sometimes you're still teaching till the end, that's helpful, because
Mm-hmm.
I find like you really kind of want to chill with the kids, but you know that if you don't plan, the day will take longer. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if it, like, if you don't plan stuff, the day drags. And
Yeah.
then you do have to plan stuff, then you have to like really stretch your mind, or really like stretch Pinterest to find activities or ideas to do with
Yeah.
them. It's like, even if you're not teaching, you still need a structure to the day,
Yeah.
because otherwise, like, behavior goes loopy, the day just never ends. So you have to keep the structure. Like, that's tough, I think, having to keep the structure when you just want to chill, but they're little kids and you can't just chill with them. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
tough
See,
in
because
primary. It's different for you guys, I think.
the structure never stops. Bell rings, go here. Bell rings, go there. Bell
Yeah.
rings, like.
Okay, so it's the same. Yeah. And you,
But
like, I guess for us, because it's like you running the day, you can like play a little bit with the structure, but you still have to have like math section and English section. Even in the English section, if it's like write a letter to your new teacher, it's still like something for the kids to do. So the kids don't, you don't want the kids to see through the cracks and be like, Miss is just giving us the work to do. Like, she's not really teaching us. Like,
mm-hmm.
so it's nice when the maths goes to the end, because that does happen sometimes. When like you could teach maths to the end, but I like to do like fun activities. But then again, I enjoy teaching history, so maybe I just teach history to the end of the year. I don't know. Or like,
Yeah.
a lot of people like do like, let's do a D&T day, because we didn't do any of the cooking in the DT curriculum. So let's do a D&T day, or like a cooking day. And then there's sports day, which is like a whole day.
We have a
Yeah.
different, right. Okay. So we have a different sports day for every year group.
Mm.
So, like, for example, Monday's year 7, Tuesday's year 8, Wednesday's year 9, whatever. So it actually keeps the disruption to other classes to a minimum, because you
Okay.
don't lose a whole day, and it's just that one year group. Like, you go out, if you're scheduled to teach year 9 on year 9 sports day, you just go supervise on the field.
Okay.
It's only the PE
Yeah.
teachers that are off timetable, because they're actually running it.
Run
So
the show.
I like it in terms of it's less disruptive and it's less
Yeah.
chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there's something, and I say this as somebody who hated sports day for a wide range of reasons when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite nice to have everyone together and like cheering and
It's nice. I like that. Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and you don't have that. You don't have that sense of team or house, or however the school splits it up,
Yeah.
when it's just one year group. It's not quite the same atmosphere. It's not quite the
Yeah.
same
It's
thing.
true. Mm.
So that's a bit of a shame, but I guess
Mm-hmm.
it's, priorities and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense. Like, I used to think, why do some schools go like book out these stadiums to do their sports day when they've, like, you have a field? Like, you have, why are you? But then again, it's the atmosphere of it, and it's the whole, it's
Mm.
like an experience. It is an experience.
I think so. It's nice for the kids, and I think you're right. It's
Yeah.
nice to have everybody together.
Yeah.
And it's nice that the PE teachers run it.
And that's another thing. It's probably a
Nice.
lot less work for the PE staff to do it
Oh yeah.
like
Oh yeah, of
individual.
course.
Even
Yeah,
though it goes on for
absolutely.
longer, it's so much less preparation and so much less stress and so much less,
Yeah, it's true.
chaos and
Yeah,
everything
I'm
to have to
sure.
manage. Like that's a massive, massive event that they have to do
Yeah.
every year. So yeah, in that regard, I get it as well, but just seems a bit of a shame. And it does seem to it takes up like the disruption that causes in this half term. If you do it year by year, it ends up dragging out the
Mm.
whole week. Like it's not just the one sports day. It's like, oh, this is sports week now. Like classes are going to begin today, and it's just
Mm.
you plan to have a certain number of lessons with these classes, so you can
Mhm.
try to keep the structure and try to keep the learning happening and try to keep everybody focused and from going completely off the rails. And then it just seems like it's like every sports day happens, all these trips happen, all these vaccines happen, all these like everything is happening in
Vaccines.
term. No, seriously, it's like, oh no, that's vaccinations. They're going to be called out. I'm like,
Oh my
they're going to
days.
be stabbed in the arm. They can't read it's just one thing after another. So you try to
Mhm.
plan to keep things on track,
Mhm.
but it's like the universe is conspiring against you to make the kids as chaotic and insane as possible because of all these things that are going on.
I also think like in high school they know that it's nearly finished. In
Mm-hmm.
primary, maybe like year six, maybe year five. Year six for sure. No, it's the end. And if you have a good year six group, it's really nice because you just do play rehearsals really. In the last
Yeah.
term, if you have a nice group, if you have a nice, chill, easy group, it's really, really lovely. Like
Yeah.
my last year six group was amazing, really, really nice. Just a play rehearsal, you could be outside in the playground, like you're not doing anything. You've done sats, you're done. Like you're
Yeah.
properly done. By like the last term in year six, last half term. But yeah, but the little kids don't really know you're coming to the end. They might you might feel it, like they feel like you feel the end, but they don't know. So you can keep going with the little kids.
Yeah.
Um,
That's true.
but
You mentioned like primary school, the last bit of school just seemed like it was completely taken over by school play.
year six,
Like,
most yeah for sure.
but in secondary, it's different because if you have a big enough school and you have enough
Mm,
resources to run it and you have different shows throughout the year, that's different. But if you're
mm,
like most schools, you have one show every year or 2 years in some cases. If you
mm,
want 11s and 13s to be in it,
mm,
it has to happen before Easter.
yeah,
So you just don't have that end of year feeling anymore. I hadn't thought about that.
yeah.
But that's another thing. That's like a huge, huge thing, which I guess you made it sound like a really positive thing. But I feel like, well, no, it
Well
would
done, me.
something positive. Well, yeah,
Give
good
yourself a
job.
pat on the back. Round of
Good
applause.
job. Good job. Good job.
Good
Yeah.
job.
But I feel like
Well
as long as the
done.
school was on board with that and supportive and understood that was going to take up X amount of hours and they
Yeah,
weren't
that's the thing.
trying to get you to just relentlessly push through some scheme of work that's never actually going to get finished because you can't actually have a normal day in this term at all. Like something's happening constantly.
Hmm.
Then that would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by your 10K walk.
Oh God.
We're coming to the end of the show. Maybe we should go on the walk
Okay.
then.
I'm so hesitant because like I will complain and moan about things that I see as systemic problems or that I see as national trends that might be showing up in my current school. But I'm so hesitant to because I don't want to just complain about my employer right now. But
Oh no.
I did no I
Was
did
it was
okay.
it
I,
was it
I
a
say
nice
this, but
walk?
it's kind of a joke. It's kind of a joke. I say this with a mixture of frustration and love. So
Was it a nice walk?
no. So last year,
Oh, I was trying to put a Ray, I'm trying to help
don't even
here,
no. Okay, no.
spin it
Here's a cool
positive.
thing. Here's a cool thing that my school does that I think a lot of different schools do. Every school I've worked in has some version of this. They have like a culture, some sort of culture day, right? Where you um
Yeah.
like, for example, you dress up in like your flag's colors, or you carry a flag
Nice.
from where
International
you're from,
Day.
where your
Yeah,
family's
yeah, yeah.
from, international, some sort of international dress day, some sort of
Yeah,
international
nice.
culture day, right?
Nice, nice. Yeah,
So we have one as well.
nice.
And I was
Yeah,
really
yeah. That's
excited
cute.
because
Yeah, that's nice.
I've got a giant Canadian flag, I have a giant Bahamian flag, I have this track jacket that's basically the Bahamian flag. I've got so many things I could wear from my places. And I was like, I'm gonna like, it's gonna be, these two flags clash horrendously, but I don't care. It's gonna be grand. Yeah. What
I've
do I
worn
get put
such
down
random
for?
stuff to school. I honestly random.
I get put down not to stay in school and do literally anything that would allow me to wear any of these things, because please, dear God, let me have my small joys in life. I get put down to take, with how like 15, 20 other staff, to take the whole of year 10 on like a 10-mile walk around
Why?
fields.
But why?
Reasons, Lianne, for reasons. And because the English department was involved in this, I couldn't get out. And I tried it. I think I made too much of a joke. Like, you know, when you're okay, complaining is my default, right? Like my default state of being is whinging about something. So people, and sometimes I mean it, and sometimes I don't, and sometimes I'm taking the mick, and sometimes I'm whatever. And I think because of that, when I'm actually dead serious complaining, people assume that I'm saying it like with a wink, when actually no, I'm serious this time. Like I actually really have a problem.
Look at my face. I'm serious. Look at me. Look
Yeah,
at my eyes.
no, that doesn't really help there, because it's just so no one really clocked that I would actually have done literally anything else, or cut off a limb, or done anything at all to get out of doing this walk. Because I just wanted to wear my flags. I wanted to be in the building. I wanted to be not walking around. And I was like, if it rains, if I'm walking through a field with 120 year 10s and I can't wear my Bahamian colors, and it starts raining on me while I'm stepping in the cow pat, do you know what we're going to have to deal with? Do you have any idea? It didn't start raining, and I didn't have a choice. I had to go on this thing. And it was just, oh my God. I feel, looking back on it now, I just feel very, very sorry for my colleagues having to deal with my unprofessional, miserable, immature attitude.
Oh,
but
no.
At the same time, I don't, because I didn't sign up for that, and it's not in my contract. So anyway, so we're doing Culture Day again this year, and I've made it.
It is not in my contract.
I did not sign up for it. This was not. No one mentioned this in my interview. Please find in my contract where it says walking through fields with year. Please find. Anyway. So we're doing it again this year, and I've made it abundantly clear. I've already arranged, if they try and put my name down on anything, I'm secretly switching with a different member of staff who would rather go out than stay in. So it'll happen. It'll work out. But that was like the second last day of the year. So we had that.
Yeah.
And then
that's not nice.
And then had to come in the next day for a few, the last day you show up, people scream, you go home.
Yeah.
And so it just really put a damper on the whole thing. But ever since then, one of the people that was responsible for organizing it has left the school, and the other one, every time I see him, I say something. So it's kind of turned into a joke, but at the time,
good.
Yeah. I was not laughing.
Not laughing.
I was not laughing last year.
Not loving life.
Like I'm an English teacher. Please let me yell at children about apostrophes. Please do not make me walk 10 miles.
Yeah, because that sounds like a geography thing, Ray. Sorry. That's a geography teacher thing.
Yeah.
Very
sorry.
Do I
teach geography?
You do not.
No, I do not.
You teach Shakespeare and important things.
Well, geography is important, but I don't do that.
Yeah, but it's not Shakespeare.
I'm not going to rank the English is more important, but I'm not going to rank the subjects. That would just be rude.
No, we would never do that.
No,
because we probably have geography teachers listening.
Probably. And they're probably laughing at being like, you weak ass, why can't you?
Yeah.
like this is what we do. We go on field trips. It's mandatory for GCSE and A-level. They have to do all this stuff.
We stand in ponds and we dip things. No, you should be in the comfort of your classroom with Romeo and Juliet manuscript in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was
You
kind of
should.
my worst end of year rage.
Maybe
I think,
maybe a poetry anthology. Shakespeare poetry. Not walking through fields.
not walking through.
Not impressed.
Do you know the nice thing though? I legally touched a cow. No, a horse. But I wasn't. I know the difference. I know the difference. I legally touched a horse that I wasn't supposed to touch. There was a big sign that I did not see, so I wasn't looking at the sign. I was looking at the horse.
Wow, you
And
girl,
there was a
you
big
are
sign
living
saying,
on
"Don't
the
touch
edge."
this horse." And I touched the horse, and it was like it was making friends with me. And some girls were like, "It's gonna bite you." I was like, "No, it's not. Shut up." And just as I was like petting this horse, this other teacher comes by and is like, "Sign, read the sign, read the sign," and I had to stop. But that was nice. Didn't make
just
up for it.
That's one way to get kicked off the trip. Do something illegal.
Touch people's animals.
Touch people's animals. Oh dear.
No.
You're gonna get bitten.
No, not by the horse. The cows were kind of stalkery, but they're cows. That's what they do. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least you enjoyed it. You did enjoy it. Come on, you did.
I enjoyed the horse.
You enjoyed the horse. That was
I
like
enjoyed the
2
cows.
seconds. Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Well,
that's it.
I mean,
yeah. So that was a deeply unpleasant end to summer term. But
that's a shame.
Yeah, that was one
was
thing.
Was the wet? Let's be very English. Was the weather nice?
No.
Oh dear.
It wasn't raining and it wasn't super hot, so it definitely could have been worse.
Okay. Yeah, next year I think you should demand that you are part of Culture Day because you are international.
I know. I was like, come on, guys! Do you know how many flags I have and how?
I think there must be something part of the UN that doesn't allow that. You need to research. I think convention rights of the international teacher. I don't know.
Just seems like discrimination. If I'm honest, they should send the British people to walk in the British countryside.
I agree. Maybe they were being kind and they were like, Ray is an international teacher and we think she should see the English countryside.
I don't want to.
I'm just being devil's advocate here. I don't want to. I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
good in this. I'm good in the city. Thank you. Thanks very much. On that note, we'll just pick up on our very special newsletter just before we come to the end of the show, because there are many shows on TTR, not just ours. So we have a newsletter, a TTR newsletter, and you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter. It's called Sound Bites and Insights, and it's delivered to 10,000 educators a week. It contains a curated selection of 4 standout TTR shows from the week. Maybe ours, in brackets. It doesn't say that. That's not what we're meant to say. But it could be. Exclusive discounts and exclusive offers from our sponsors. You can sign up on our website at ttradio.org/newsletter. Did you like my action?
I did.
Thank you.
Very nice.
I teach English sometimes.
Sorry, I just tried to mute that cough and then it went horribly wrong. Sorry.
That's all right.
Oh,
you're a teacher. You're allowed to make mistakes. It's fine.
Yeah.
I feel that's when we used to record videos in lockdown. Sorry, we will speak about John Cat in a minute, but Ray's cough reminded me of lockdown. I don't know if you're listening and this was you, please tell us in the comments so we know we're not alone. But in lockdown, when I used to record lessons, I'd be like, and so we're going to learn about this. Achoo! I'd be like, oh, I sneezed. I have to start again. It's just like wasn't normal. Because if I sneeze in the middle of a lesson, I just carry on.
Just keep going. People sneeze. Yeah.
But because I was recording a lesson, I would like restart the whole record. It was ridiculous.
That's
or like
ridiculous.
an ambulance would go past. to start again.
Oh, I wouldn't have cared about that. I would have cared about the sneezing because working with secondary school kids, I don't even think we were allowed to record stuff, or maybe we weren't. I'm not sure. It was
Really?
weird. A lot of people had objections at the school I was at because in the first lockdown,
Okay.
because
Mm.
you know what these kids are like with their phones, and they get a hold of a picture of stuff. They get a hold of
Oh yeah.
a recording, and then the next thing you know, there's like some deeply offensive TikTok thing going around, or they're just,
Oh my goodness, I
having
didn't
fun
think
with
about
it
that with
as,
high school.
we would and just go a bit too far,
Yeah.
and people
In
were
primary,
really
we don't
uncomfortable.
think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't particularly
record.
bothered, but a lot of people were like, I don't want my video on when I'm recording because these are 12, 14, 16-year-olds and they're
That's
not to
so
be
true.
trusted. Like, I do not consent to my image being, and it's like, what do you say to that? I don't know. So
true.
yeah, it was a whole big.
Yeah, but yeah,
thing.
your live sneeze reminded me of that. Sorry. Back to John Cat, because John Cat have been with us for a really long time. And our show is brought to you in partnership with John Cat Educational, publishers of professional development books and resources that support great teaching and learning in schools around the world. You can level up your professional development today and visit johncatbookshop.com to explore the full range of titles. Use the code JCTTR2425 for 20% off your order. JCTTR is capital letters. If you're noting it down, it's capitals, and you get 20% off your order. And I've been on their website a few times and bought some books, and they have really good books. So yeah, do have a look. And
It's a good selection.
Next time we see you, we'll be even closer to the end of the year.
Just dragging myself through. Do you know what I've realized? I don't know how. At the beginning, I don't think we were recording yet when you said it. You were worried about the lighting in your flat.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that it's gone like progressively darker and I now look like some sort of vampire? This is not, But it's still bright out.
Yeah.
Is it dark there?
It's dark. No, it's bright outside. Teacher lighting. Dim the light. I love dimming the lights in the classroom. It's the best. I did it today.
Especially on a hot day.
Yeah, today was really hot. I was like, don't turn the light on. It's hot.
They love it as well.
It keeps the class calm.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should end with movie recommendations, because what else do you do on the last day of the summer term? Then watch a movie. I tried to do Bed Knobs and Broomsticks once with the class. Do you know it? It's a really old movie.
I've seen it, but I haven't seen it in like 30 odd years.
Brilliant. It's the best movie. It's got like animation in the middle, and I tried to do it with a class, and they were like, what is this? We're bored. It's like, no, it's a classic. Watch it. Yeah, we didn't watch it. I was disappointed.
No. What did, not last year, but the year before, my class voted to watch.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it was my year 8 class. Voted to watch some newish Disney film that I had not seen. It was actually quite cute, and I can't remember what it's called. I don't know.
Sing. I like Sing.
But it was very cute. Like they chose like the cute child option, and we're like obsessed with it. It was adorable.
I would suggest Sing 2.
Mm-hmm.
I also like Zootopia. I don't know what it was called. That was a really good Disney movie. I think it was Disney.
Oh yeah. It's either Zootropolis or Zootopia, depending where you are.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
It's good.
No, we just, because in secondary there's so many, well, I guess in primary as well, but there's so many different film and television adaptations of whatever text you're reading. So I usually just end with whatever we've just read or whatever we haven't watched from what we've read throughout the year, or like something of the same genre.
I enjoy that.
Yeah. Oh, well, they don't. Sometimes they do, and sometimes they don't. But they're watching a film, so shut up.
Yeah, exactly. Do you want to do a comprehension?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Pretty much.
And I don't have one for you, so watch.
Yeah, I will threaten.
Exactly. Yeah. I will threaten, but I cannot follow through on my threat. They told me not to do this in my training, but
No, I never threaten them with comprehension. I threaten them with like an extended writing task where you're not leaving until you've written like, yeah.
That's mean. That's really mean.
Yeah. Better shut up and watch the film then.
The worst is when some kids are like, oh, okay. I'm like, no, I don't have it for you. Why do you want to do it? Watch the movie.
Weirdo.
Yeah. Those are my recommendations for your end of year movie.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to round it up. Ray would like to suggest that you watch Romeo and Juliet. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Always, every day, just for fun.
And I suggest animations. If you've just tuned in, who works in primary? Which one of us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So next time we see you guys, we'll be closer to the end. Both of us will be closer to the end. I will be ended.
Will you be finished?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye. Bye then.
Oh dear. Alrighty. Bye guys. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
See ya.
Outstanding and world-class vision and world-class this.
I'm a real leadership geek, honestly. I've spent my whole career reading books and chatting to people.
I just find the whole thing and the announcement, the way it's been announced, bizarre.
If you could move away from a model where teachers are so intensely focused